For the masculines on Earth, Lucifer is this energy of wanting to dominate the physical plane. To allow ourselves to actually be this antenna allows us to start to open up our third eye. And twin flames are two individuals that were essentially born of one consciousness.
Hello. Today we're asking one clear question. Who is Gabi Kovalenko, relationship coach or spiritual guru?
Whatever you do to bring yourself closer to your own purpose in your own heart and soul and divine awareness also brings your twin flame closer to their purpose and to you.
If you've seen her talks about twin flames, 5D and coherence, this episode is for you. Most decent advice splits in two lanes. Keep love practical, consistency, accountability, repair, or keep spirituality minimal, rest as awareness, no theatrics. But Gabi straddles both worlds, twin flame destiny and 5D quantum jumps. So we're going to test whether her big language produces real safety or just bigger stories. We mapped Gabi's claims against Jillian Turecki, a relationship coach with years of experience with couples, a gold standard in my opinion in the industry of relationship advice, and Rupert Spira's plain awareness spirituality advice, which is another great reference point when it comes to offering an accurate map of reality. This is no takedown, just proof. I will test her claims when it comes to love. Does Gabi twin flames guidance pass Jillian's metrics, consistency, accountability, repair? Second, does her quantum 5D cosmology describe reality better than Rupert's bare awareness talks? We will do all that, so in the end we could answer the question: who is Gabi Kovalenko really? Coach, guru, or a first brand persona that's more about optics than results? I am Beniamin and welcome to the Florin Beniamin Show. Chapter 1: Relationship Talk. Gabi and Jillian's relationship advice. Today we start with two non-negotiables: emotional and physical safety and self-awareness. Everything else, chemistry, destiny, even healing, comes after that. Jillian Turecki's gold standard.
Number one is consistency. We need to know what we're going to get with someone. If there's constant uncertainty or constant inconsistency, the person's going to come home or we're going to come home and we don't know what version of them we're going to get. That is incredibly, incredibly difficult.
Consistency.
Number two is accountability. When we can own our mistakes. Being in a relationship means that sometimes you are going to unconsciously hurt your partner's feelings. And if we can take full responsibility instead of deflect or blame, then we are creating emotional safety.
Accountability.
Third most important way is how we respond to conflict. Some of the most high risk and therefore emotionally unsafe behavior in a relationship is to shut down with stonewall and give the silent treatment.
Repair. Over time, your nervous system feels calmer with the person you're with. That's secure functioning. Now, what does Gabi bring that's genuinely useful?
Anytime you feel intensely triggered by what's happening in the outer plane of experience, you're creating a deeper fragment because you're choosing not to recognize that the thing that's triggering you is in some way revealing an internal aspect that must be healed.
She treats triggers as curriculum. Don't outsource your pain, notice the reaction, self-soothe, ask, what in me is being shown? That builds agency.
We must persist. We must build the strength in our spiritual field to maintain the integrity between the ego and the soul. so that we can see there's always room for more coherence to be created, and to see that neutrality is the ultimate response in a polarizing world that always challenges us on our ability to stay true to ourselves.
She talks coherence and congruence. Close the gap between values and behavior. Act from a higher place that builds integrity. She offers meaning making. Big language, 5D, destiny, twin flames can organize chaos. In hard seasons, meaning can keep you moving. Used well, these are solid inner work tools. They can make you a safer partner. But here where it goes wrong, if you don't use guardrails.
At some point, one twin might run from the other, and this leads to what is called the runner-chaser dynamic in the connection. This can lead to tremendous pain, longing, and a feeling of complete and utter confusion because you might not understand consciously why somebody would run from you in this connection.
First, myths can hide or not reveal the volatility you're going through. High arousal, on-off cycles get rebranded as sacred tests. Clinically, that's anxious avoidance plus intermittent reinforcement.
You might experience somebody chasing you and you might not understand why do they want you? What are they trying to get from you when you don't even feel deserving of this sacred bond? Well, this running chasing dynamic is really a metaphor for what's energetically occurring within you. And oftentimes, it reveals exactly the dynamic that you experienced as a child with one or more of your parents, caregivers, or other important people in your life.
Not a great relationship dynamic to be in. Second, boundary blur. Ego death and surrender get used where you actually need limits and consequences.
And to assume responsibility for the experience you're having. Because as soon as you move yourself into the state of actually embodying your own awareness, all of a sudden, you find a way to gain an upper hand over the ego. Rather than trying to control the ego into doing something that it's not naturally feeling, you're simply becoming the observer.
Third, no way to track the progress. I feel clearer replaces we repaired 3 conflicts in 2 weeks. Insight without behavior change is a stall. It doesn't represent anything that could improve a relationship if not applied.
There can be many triggers along this path which separate the twins and which bring them into a deep phase of self-reflection and realization. Some twins report going through a dark night of the soul, which is a moment of dismal disappointment and pain and separation.
Fourth, persona gravity. Big stories pull attention away from boring proof. Are we consistent? Do we repair? Do we keep our word?
One twin might really hurt the other, make them feel abandoned, not worthy of love, rejected, or in some other way deeply insecure about themselves and the connection.
When it comes to this, what would integration look like? A steady contact, cadence you both honor, one clear completed repair that you can point to after a rupture. For both of you to own the impact, to validate, to talk about specific changes you can do in a relationship. Follow up maybe. If you see also lower reactivity, fewer blow-ups, faster de-escalation. If that's not happening, the meaning is private medicine, not relationship guidance. Next, we'll move from relationship towards life. Which map are you using to read life? Because your map decides your moves. Chapter 2 is exactly that. 2 compasses, same terrain. Rupert Spira's Plain Awareness, the simplest ground you can stand on. And Gabi Kovalenko's Big Cosmology. Let's find out. Chapter 2, Rupert's Plain Awareness versus Gabi Big Cosmos.
So if we really want to know the nature of awareness, we must, as it were, ask awareness, what is your experience of yourself prior to the arising of experience? Awareness would never say, I am peaceful, because it hasn't yet known agitation. The only thing it would say is, I am.
Rupert Spira starting point is not a belief. It's a fact you can check right now. Close your eyes for a few seconds. Notice. Are there thoughts, sounds, body sensations that you can perceive? Now, notice the knowing of them. Where is this space where the thoughts, feelings, body sensations appear on? Even if a thought changes, the fact that you're aware of it doesn't change. I am aware. Before thoughts, before sensations, before your story, there is an awareness of all of it. That is the home base. That is the reliable ground everything else sits on. That's basically what Rupert Spira talks about. Now, Gabi's side. Her starting point is a meaningful cosmos.
Our awakening are going to be so integrated, so loving, so supportive of a higher intelligence and more connection and love on planet Earth, that it's going to be balancing out the spectrum, maybe leading to an experience in the future in which there's almost like two Earths at the same time.
5D, harmonics, timelines, coherence. Reality mirrors your inner state. Big language organizes chaos. Every trigger is a curriculum.
There is an easier way to do this, and actually often propose for people to think about the easier route to healing, because quantum jumps absolutely are possible. This is what explains instantaneous healing, these sorts of miracles, which really can be explained in a way of quantum physics terminology. Just thinking about how we actually occupy different states of consciousness, different quantum states.
Where does these two maps overlap? Well, they both say take responsibility. Both say integrate, don't avoid. Both want less suffering and more love. Where do they differ? Rupert introduces story to reveal ground. Gabi expands story to create meaning. Now the honest question would be, which one actually helps? And maybe they both help, but which one is actually more stable and gives you a more solid ground to build upon? Here's the lens I use. Pay attention, not to me, not to the brand, to you. While you listen to the stories, notice your body. Do you feel a quiet widening, a softening in the chest, a settling in the breath? That's your signal. Or do you feel a spike, a rush, a squeeze, a scramble to figure it out? I don't get this. What is this? That's another thing. When you apply the advice they give you, what happens? Do you calm faster after a trigger? Do you repair quicker and kinder? Do you keep your words more easily? Does your life get a little bigger? Sleep better? More meaningful work? Friends you can share with? Life? If yes, the map makes sense for you. If not, thank the story and let it go. In chapter 3, let's find out which one it is. The story that heals or a branding that's more to sell. Chapter 3. Coach, guru, or a brand that doesn't care. It's time to run the test. We look at 3 lanes: coach, spiritual teacher, and a brand. Lane 1. Coach. What would coach mean here? Behavior change, consistency, accountability, repair. What Gabi actually teaches is life often reflects back what you're showing up. If you change how you see and act, your experience usually changes too. Treat what happens as feedback. Adjust your perspective and your behavior, and the pattern often shifts. Instead of rehashing the same pain over and over, imagine the you who's already healed and start acting like that person now.
Might be thinking about yourself as the higher self form, could be thinking about a version of you which doesn't yet exist, but that embodies that kind of non-dual state practice, meaning that you're choosing to unify, just like you said. That means coming into a state of alignment where you are truthful, you are genuine, you're aware of yourself, and you're choosing to actually live in a state of purpose.
Stop looping the wound. Step into the habits of your healed self. Act from a higher place. These are useful inner work cues. They can make you safer, but they're not a relationship protocol by themselves. I don't see any step-by-step repair rituals or week-over-week partner agreements in her material. So basically, in this lane, she's doing something that looks like coaching, not a gold standard relationship coach. Lane 2, spiritual teacher. Well, what she teaches well is that you have to stop making the other person or life the sole causes of your inner state. You choose your own perspective. What's really happening? What's my part? You practice forgiveness, drop the revenge, scorekeeping, so you can move ahead cleanly. You focus on integration, feel the hurt, learn from it, change your behavior. Higher self-coherence, which means acting in line with your values, so your words, feelings and actions match. Said simply, higher self is the version of you that's honest, kind and steady. Coherence means no split between what you believe and what you do. An example would be you value respect and you at the same time, for some reason, you feel angry. Some anger comes to you, and even though you feel the anger, you still do your best and speak clearly without insulting. That's coherence, integrity in your actions. Use it like this. Before you act, ask, what would my best, most honest self do? And what's the most appropriate thing I can actually follow through right now in my state? Then do that and track the results. Where her talks inflate: holographic universe, timelines, 5D collective split, grand metaphysics. I think the aim is to motivate, but these things are not really verified by any means. Occasional Mandela effects, portals, rabbit holes that expand stories faster than you can practice anything. If Rupert's check is I am aware now, Gabi often becomes trust the cosmic frame first. That inspires some people, but can also hide the volatility under the guise of the cosmic will and use it to explain away red flags. So when it comes to this, Gabi's talks are more motivational metaphysics. They're not really a minimalist first principle spirituality like Rupert's. Lane 3, a brand story. What qualifies as a brand dynamics? We are talking about meats that sell, identity forward, not really testable in any ways. You can find more promises, bigger promises. When it comes to evidence, there might be reality as a mirror, quantum jumps, higher self-coherence recurring across shows and guides. She's got a lot of cosmic predictions, DNA unlocking, great splits. These narratives travel well online. They build audiences craving these big stories. But without behavioral proofs and tracking, they tilt towards brand-first lens. So, what is she doing here? Is she a coach, a guru, or a brand? So, as a coach, she's got some useful personal tools by missing nuts and bolts, relational structures. As a spiritual teacher, she's got encouraging language on responsibility and coherence, inflated by unverifiable cosmology. As a brand, she's a clear mythical persona that resonates, sometimes outpacing measurable outcomes. So who is Gabi really? She's a motivational myth maker with practical moments. No matter what you believe about this, I hope love, peace and joy find you. If you like this episode and my take on Gabi's and her teachings, feel free to watch this next episode. Until next time, Beniamin.